Welcome everyone, and thank you for sharing your time with us to honor Merced County's 2020 Hands-On Heroes. I'm Marie Pickney, Program Manager at First 5 Merced County. In past years, this award was presented at the annual Children's Summit. However, this year brings with it the opportunity to do things a little bit differently. Before moving forward with the show, we would like to say a special thank you to Samantha Thompson for her role in facilitating the Hands-On Heroes Awards in prior years.
Good evening and welcome. I am Rosa Barragan, Director of the Early Education Support Programs at the Merced County Office of Education. We are excited to be here today to celebrate the heroes in our community. These are individuals who are positively impacting the lives of children in Merced County. We all have our own heroes. Marie, who is your superhero?
Wonder Woman. She is all about fighting for the potential of humanity. She's a powerful without sacrificing any compassion and loves her communities regardless of the imperfections.
Our Merced County Hands-On Heroes can't fly, they don't have X-ray vision, and for the most part, they don't walk around with a cape. These are individuals who day after day make a difference in our community by supporting our children. They do this by dedicating their time, empowering our youth, by coming up with innovative ways to support our youth, and turning the ordinary into something extraordinary. They believe in our children, especially the children of Merced County.
The Hands-On Heroes program acknowledges individuals and/or businesses that go above and beyond in supporting children ages 0 to 18 in ways that embody the Merced County Children's Bill of Rights. These unsung heroes are directly making a difference in the lives of children living in Merced County.
Thank you, Marie. It is now my pleasure to introduce an individual who also fits the profile of a superhero. Every day, he and his team work tirelessly to support the children and families of Merced County. Please help me welcome Merced County Office of Education Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Tejan.
Good morning, my name is Steve Tejan. I'm your Merced County Superintendent of Schools. And I'd like to just take a moment this morning to thank those members of our community, many times who get very little credit for all the hard work they do. I'd like to thank them for their effort on behalf of children, particularly the youngest children in our community, of course known as Hands-On Heroes. Many times these individuals or businesses go about their daily good work without much acknowledgement, and we want to say thank you today for all of that hard work that they're engaged in to make sure that our children are safe, our children are fed, our children are educated by loving, supportive adults. Thank you so much for the work you do, and I hope to get to meet you in person very soon.
Congratulations, Dr. Tejan. Thank you. I would like to introduce Merced County Human Services Agency Director and First 5 Merced County Commissioner Vice Chair, Dr. Yvonnya Brown.
Hi, I'm Dr. Yvonnya Brown from First 5 Commission. I'm the Vice Chair, and it's with great pleasure that I stand before you to acknowledge our Hands-On Heroes awardees for 2020. Thank you so much for your contributions and what you have done to support our youth and their academic success. So once again, congratulations on your 2020 Hands-On Heroes Award.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. We are very happy to have you here today. Today is just a great day. It's like having a superhero reunion, getting all the individuals who are doing amazing work for our children and their families in one building. As I said before, to me, a superhero is someone who has others' best interests in mind, can lead the way, is a visionary, and is not afraid to dream big for our youngest children. This describes our next guest, First 5 Merced County Executive Director Scott Waite.
Well, I want to start by introducing myself. I'm Scott Waite. I'm the Executive Director of First 5 Merced County. I've been in that role for a little over a year, and I really want to reach out and say thank you to everybody who nominated our Hands-On Heroes, as well as our award winners. Hands-On Heroes is an annual opportunity to recognize people that go above and beyond. We know we have a lot of great people in this county that do a lot for children, but but we're looking for those volunteers, the people at their job that take on the extra role and the extra responsibility, and that they really do more than what's asked, more than what's expected, and they really are a hero for our young children. Hands-on Heroes ties into First Five in many ways. The core way it ties in is that we are an agency funded by Proposition 10, which is a tobacco tax, and we fund all sorts of different services in the communities, from capacity building with childcare providers. We have different enrichment activities. We're launching some early literacy programs soon. We have a lot of exciting opportunities. This is an opportunity to recognize people that do more than is expected for kids 0 to 5. It's nice also because it's a regional effort. So most of the counties down the San Joaquin Valley have their own hands-on heroes. And so it's really an opportunity to call these people out and really share with them what we think is most important. So to our nominees, I'd really like to say thank you for what you've done for our community. Thank you for the hard work you've put in. And to the winners, I want to say thank you as well, but also congratulations. Everybody who's invited, we want to bring you back next year and give you an opportunity to come on stage and receive your round of applause. Currently, we're doing this year digitally due to COVID. We're hoping that next year we'll be able to meet in person and hold our Children's Summit, and also recognize both our 2020 winners and our 21 winners together so that everyone gets that.
I also would like to thank our sponsors, First Five Merced County and Merced County Office of Education. The Hands-On Heroes program is made possible in partnership with Merced County Office of Education Early Childhood Education Department and with funding from First Five Merced County.
Thank you to the committee. We also want to give out a special shout out to the few individuals who worked behind the scenes to make this event happen, such as Lorena Barola, Mary Bauman, Cesar Vera, Leonel Garcia, Kathleen Navat, Valerie Avila, Lilia, and Cindy.
Now to recognize everyone that was nominated for a Hands-On Hero Award. We will be recognizing them for their tireless work that they do in the community. The following nominees will receive a Hands-On Hero nomination star that lets everyone know that they are a star for kids. Starting with Maria Elizalde, nominated by Gabriel Orozco for being a central part of the Child Abuse Treatment Program, or CHAT, of Merced County Human Services Agency, and for going above and beyond to provide links to long-term treatments that helps families to be knowledgeable and prepared to navigate the different programs that are available to them. Next, we would like to recognize Claudia Corchado, nominated by Jerome Raspberry Jr. for her work coordinating and organizing grassroots community projects in and around Merced County through Cultiva la Salud, a California regional project funded by the California Endowment. Up next, Luis Enrique Bracamontes, nominated by Gabriela Bracamontes and his kids for his work as a volunteer soccer coach for young men ages 15 to 18 that compete in the Merced United Soccer League. Coach Bracamontes supports and mentors the youth so that they can be successful on and off the field. Next, we have Concha Alvarez, nominated by Veronica Garcia for her work as a Merced College instructor in the field of early childhood education. Ms. Alvarez worked full-time during the day and taught child development classes in Spanish in the evening because she knew this was a huge need in the community.
So one of our winners is Christy Brinkley. She was nominated by Joanne Birdsall and received the Community Award. Community Award goes to those individuals who turn the ordinary into an extraordinary, work with teachers, families, and the community to ensure the health and well-being of all children and making it a priority.
Hi, my name is Joanne Birdsall, and I'm retired program director, preschool program director for Dos Palace Joint Unified School District. I am here today to talk to you about Christy Brinkley, who at that time was the credentialed school nurse. I met Christy approximately 2 years ago, and we worked together for the past 2 years before my retirement. I've nominated Christy for the Hands-On Heroes Award because not only because she's most deserving, but because of her outstanding qualities, such as her caring nature. There was never a child, young or old, didn't matter if they were preschool or high school or in between, if they needed Christy, she was there. A perfect example is with one of our students. We had a brittle diabetic who needed to have insulin checked daily. Christy made it a point to be there at noon every day to check this child's sugar level so she could have lunch. Upon seeing that this child needed snacks in the classroom, she went out of her way, out of her pocket, and bought a refrigerator to put in the classroom for this child's snacks and insulin. There's not a lot of people that would do that to use their own money, but that's just one incident. Christy would often pick parents up for doctor's appointments and translate for them if they didn't understand the doctor's lingo. She took care of staff members. Many of my staff members, if they weren't feeling well, it was one phone call and Christy would be on her way saying, "Hold on, I'm there. Don't worry, I got you." One incident with a staff member was very ill, a diabetic also, and had to go home. Christy drove her in her personal car, called her husband, and waited for him to get there so she could go on to her doctor's appointment. Again, you don't see that kind of caring nature these days. But Christy, that's who she is. She is a true hero. And I am so proud to nominate her, and I'm so proud of her award because she is so deserving, and what a way to represent our community.
My name is Christy Brinkley. I am a nurse. I've been a nurse for 36 years, and approximately the last 20 years I've been in school nursing. More recently, the last 2 years, I was employed at Dos Palace or Loma Unified School District. So I now am going to be going into teaching at the community college, medical assisting. So it's something that I always wanted to do once I got my master's about 6 years ago. And so I'm really excited about the new opportunity about teaching, upcoming possible nurses, medical assistants, and people like that. So I'm looking for my replacement. Before I became a nurse, I was raised out on the farm and in Firebaugh, and I was always that kid that brought home hurt animals or little critters that I found in the field, and I was always trying to nurse them back to health, or I was trying to care for them, and my mom would just get so exasperated with me because I was always trying to fix these little animals and things like that. So I kind of always knew that I was going to go into some sort of field that, the helping or whatever. And, I currently have 4 dogs and 4 cats, so I haven't gotten away from the critters for sure. And so I went from high school right into nursing school. I went to Loma Linda University, and then after that, started working as a nurse, so 36 years of nursing. I was in high school, and I really wasn't sure which direction I was going to go, and the principal, we were talking one day, and he said, "I could really see you going into nursing." And he knew me well, and he knew my family and things like that. And I was just like, "Really?" And he says, "Yeah, and I know a great place that you should go that gets you right into learning about nursing, and you're in the hospital all 4 years," which was a great program. It was a great program for me because it caught my interest immediately. It was like, oh my gosh, this is it. So as soon as I went, down south to go to school, it was fascinating. From the start to the finish, every rotation I had, everything, it was wonderful. I loved nursing school, which, a lot of people say, oh my gosh, it was hard, don't get me wrong. I love the people I met. It was a different culture for me because I was raised Catholic, and it was a Seventh-day Adventist college. So little culture shock. And then just nursing has been a wonderful profession because there's so many areas that you can go into. Never bored. I mean, you're always, if you're going along in one area of nursing and you think, I'd really like to kind of try this it's there. It's available. It's a great profession. Yeah, I'm in love with nursing. I love what I do. Every aspect of it has been a wonderful experience. The ability to help someone and to care for them and to give them a better quality of life, whether it's, a stroke patient, a mom with a new baby, someone going through grief, going to the doctor with children that are deaf and maybe they're getting hearing aids for the first time. There's so many moments that in nursing that break your heart and make your heart swell with pride. There's just so many that, it's really hard to just say, that. But it's just the ability to help people and advocate for ones that don't have advocates, and being their voice or being their mouth or their heart if they can't. It's just being there for them. In my professional career, what makes me happy is helping people. I mean, that's anybody that you would talk to that knows me knows that I get a lot of joy out of being around children, and I like the older students too, and things, but the little ones, that the preschoolers that will come up and tell you that maybe you have something in your nose or something in your eye, or one of them that told me that my breath stinks because I had coffee. And I have a big laugh, so I usually laugh pretty loud, but things like that make me really, I just love being around children with their unassuming and just open hearts. They're just little sponges for knowledge, and they just love you and think you're just wonderful, and they're just fun to be around. And then the older kids that get a little chip on their shoulder, you just sit there and listen to them, or you just say, hey, I've got a room. You want to come in and just talk to me? Just come in. So it's the kids I work with, or the people I work with, or the families, or the parents that will call or text or email and say, gosh, thank you so much for whatever. And those things bring me joy. They really do. On my, at home, all my animals, gardening, doing all those kinds of things. Of course, my family, and just things like that. School nursing, to those who don't know what it is, think it's all about putting Band-Aids on kids. And I tell them all the time, I wish that was the job. I don't wish that was the job. But that is not even close to being part of it. It is case management of children's lives, and whether it's a student with spina bifida or cancer or diabetes or whatever it may be, anxiety, bipolar, ADHD. I mean, we have kids that come to school every single day with either medical or mental health conditions that require a lot of time and energy, a lot of talking to their parents or guardians, talking to their physicians, their healthcare providers, and then also the school nurses are seen as the medical professionals on campus, because we're surrounded by educators, and they don't know about the world of nursing. Just like I don't know the world of education now. I've been in it for a while now, but my job is to make sure that child stays safe at school all day long, every day. And what do I have to do to make that happen? Whether it's a kid with a bee allergy or a peanut allergy or it's a diabetic, that teacher needs to have information in order to keep that child safe, that teacher and anyone that has contact with that child. So there's so much that school nursing is about. In fact, it's been the most difficult and the most rewarding nursing job I've had in 36 years. And when people say, oh, I'd love to be a school nurse, you just get to put Band-Aids on, you get there at 8 and you go home at 3:30, and you get weekends and holidays and summers off. Well, yeah, that's not it. It's hours. You don't go home at 3:30. You have meetings for special education. You meet with parents. You meet with staff. You're constantly teaching. You're making home visits, which were one of my favorite things to do, because we have to see where children are coming from in order to understand when they come to school what's going on with them. they're afraid maybe there's no food in the house, maybe there's no place for them to sleep. Maybe their parents are fighting, maybe they only have one parent, maybe they're living with a grandparent. It's so good to see where a kid is coming from. And then, and I offer to teachers all the time, why don't you come on a home visit with me sometime? I'd like for you to see just where he comes from or she comes from, just so you have an understanding of why it's so difficult for them to learn. Because, I know that teachers get frustrated because, whether it's a kid, like I said, with ADHD, just cannot focus. And maybe he's really young, his parents are hesitant to go on medication, whatever. Or if it's a child didn't have breakfast, or, whatever it is. It's really important to see where they come from and then be that advocate. And sometimes, teachers and staff may not see eye to eye with me because I bring a whole different perspective. And I wish that I could sit 36 kids in front of that teacher and not one of them have any problems. That's just not happening. There's so many things going on with the percentages of anxiety and depression, suicide, and then cancer and all the other birth defects. I mean, there's so many things going on. The teacher has to know that every single one of their children in their room are so individual and they have individual needs, and that would be very difficult. I don't think I could teach a room full of students with so many needs. Now, like I said, I come at it at a different angle where I need to provide that information to the teacher so they can understand, what's going on. And if it's an emergency, what do you do? So writing up safety plans, emergency care plans, going to the doctor with the families, that kind of thing. So, and then you have to manage all of the staff that's under you too. So I have health assistants or medical assistants that are working in the offices that see children every single day. The kids that come in, I got a stomach ache, I got a headache, I've got, this, that, whatever, or broken bones, or seizures, or, their diabetes is out of control, or whatever. And so teaching them also, and luckily, they have medical backgrounds, and so they understand, but we really, having meetings, with them all the time and making sure that they know, and making sure that they're passing on the right information to the staff and that kind of thing. I look at heroes, and of course, with all the fires that are going on right now, I look at all the firefighters fighting the fires, and actually, I do look at like other nurses and doctors and whatnot that are in the hospitals right now fighting the COVID fight, and I don't know that I look at myself as a hero at all. I always say that I'm an advocate, and with empathy, and I appreciate, being seen as that, but it's, it's like, I wouldn't say that, I'm a hero. I just think that I love what I do, and I've always said that, do what you love and love what you do, and, it's, you'll be happy. It's is it hard? Yeah, it's hard. Does it break your heart? Yeah, it breaks your heart. And it, do you go home crying? Yeah, you do. But do you go home with joy? Oh, yeah. There's a lot of joy that you go home with, and you know that this child got glasses today, and what parent didn't know that they really couldn't see. They just thought they were just squinting because, but there was actually some things going on. Or this child got hearing aids, or, this child is going to get a kidney transplant, or, different things, or this child was cured of cancer and now he's in remission. There's so many things that in your world as a nurse that it's sometimes an emotional roller coaster, but I think that there's a lot more joyful cheers than there are, sorrowful tears, I guess. And I don't know, it's what I do, and it's what I love. And now that I'm going into teaching, medical assisting, I'm excited about passing that on to the next group of medical professionals and get my someone that's going to take my place, because I'm tired. I think at times my passion gets the best of me. And I think when you work in this profession that happens. And I'm a huge advocate for kids and anyone that's going through any kind of difficulty or whatever. It's just that I work with kids mostly. And I think my passion can be seen as a little harsh at times because I truly believe something better is out there for this child or this person. And, you know, I'm that person that goes to the nth degree to make something happen, you know, if I know it can be better for them. And sometimes people will probably see that as, oh, she's a little crazy. But I'm used to it now. And if they stick around long enough, they see that my passion is for a good reason. It's that I'm not just trying to control things. I'm just trying to get something better for this child, because this child right in front of me right now is the most important thing. And I need to advocate for them. If I feel that whatever is happening is not in their best interest, you know, then I need to say something. And it's okay to disagree with maybe the people you work with, and it's okay. I tend to just kind of go on the side of the parent because that's their child. I mean, they want what's best for their child, and the teachers do too, or the staff or what have you. But I feel like sometimes parents are intimidated when they come into a situation or a room or a conference or whatever. And I need to be that person to really make everyone understand that, yes, this situation, this problem, this health condition, mental health condition, truly impacts this child. And we all need to understand that. It's not just that the child is lazy or trying to get out of work or whatever. I guess I would want people to know that my passion is what drives my advocacy, and it's all wrapped up. I mean, it's all for the kids. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's not control. Believe me, I got enough to control in my life. I don't need to control this, but I need people to understand that if I am really trying to get you to understand something about a child regarding their medical condition, I really want you to listen to me and understand that it's truly a problem. And we need to support the parents or the guardians, whoever has the child. We need to be there for them, and because every kid learns differently, and we need to make sure that whatever condition is preventing them from learning, that we're addressing that. And so I guess that would be it.
Our next Hands-On Hero Award winner is Andre Griggs, was nominated by Jerome Raspberry and received the Babatunde Asungboye Emerging Leader Memorial Award. Babatunde embodied a spirit of giving and was an emerging leader in the Merced County community.
Hi, my name is Jerome Raspberry Jr., and I'm here to nominate Andre Griggs for this year's 2020 Hands-On Hero Award. Andre has done so much work in the community regarding restorative justice and helping out in the community with other avenues belonging to things that he belongs to. And so I'm just honored and delighted to nominate him this year for the 2020 Hands-On Hero Award.
Well, my name is Andre Griggs, and I am the founder and CEO of Restorative Justice League. We've been going on for about now 11 years, and I would say about 2 years now as a fully nonprofit organization. Our program, I've been actually involved in this work via just my education. I have my degree in criminology corrections and my master's in education. And so working with youth has been a passion all my life, and youth development. I'm actually come from a city called Portland, Oregon, and as everyone is familiar with that city, before gentrification, so I grew up in a a low economic society, predominantly African American. School was predominantly, I would say, about 98% of African American students, and also was involved in gangs during that time. And so this has become a passion to me because I was a student that was overlooked and pushed out and disproportionately underserved when it came to social justice, racial awareness, and just having a voice and a platform to be heard. And so this has been a passion for me to work with students and youth and education to come together and to be able to support those voiceless students. I was actually just in education. I was working, my focus was youth development. My background is also after-school programming. I was in that for predominantly all of actually my professional career was in after-school programming, working in education. Again, my background is in criminology correction, and I've also worked in juvenile hall. So I've seen both sides of the pendulum as far as students being incarcerated, and also students that could be prevented into being incarcerated. Hence, being a practitioner and an advocate for restorative justice to dismantle and end school-to-prison pipeline. And so basically my background of my experience of living a street life, being a part of, negative circles, my goal was to utilize what was invested in me by people who saw something different in me and to pay it forward and continue changing lives. And so again, that's become my passion. The gratification out of it is I know that when a student sees me, even though if I don't recognize them because it's been years, they know that they remember me and say, Mr. Griggs, thank you for intervening in my life because it saved my life. And so that's priceless. And I think the time that really changed me was working with LeGrand High School and seeing that when a community comes together, they can make a difference with students. I had a great time working with the district and the staff there, and it really impressed me to see students who are really in need, and that there was a need because of the violence at the time that was going on with Norteños and Sureños within that community, and seeing that it was such a close community, but students were crying out. Students felt that they didn't have a voice or an opportunity. And so putting this program together, I think what it was when a student got involved with it was a fight, and basically that student was 18 years old, and so he was involved in gangs, and he basically this was his last chance. He was going to be incarcerated or be expelled from the school, and we were just starting the program regarding the Restorative Justice League and starting panel work with students. And so talking to the student and asking the questions, the most important thing was for that student is that to make his mother proud. And so despite of his life and all the things that he was involved with, the connection was to make his mother proud and to graduate. And so we worked with that student throughout the year, and that student actually did change, and he influenced now a lot of other students in a positive route opposed to negative, and he did graduate. And so he texted me. We kept in close connection, and he said if it wasn't for Restorative Justice League, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be in school. I wouldn't have a future, and I would never have made my mother proud. I would never kept the promise of graduating. And so that actually reminded me of me, because what got me out was a promise that I made to my mom that I was going to be the first person in my family to graduate from college. And I kept that promise for her. And I was able to overcome a lot of obstacles. And seeing myself in this young man made me make a decision that I know that if I have an opportunity to do more, I will do it. And if I have an opportunity to do this full time, I'm going to do everything in my power to make it happen. And I know that there is people out there, people in positions that want to support the work. And so I think me having an opportunity to have these conversations with other people that have the same passion really empowered me to know that this is the right track. This is where we need to go. I think the biggest fear going full-time with restorative justice is sometimes you're not a prophet in your own land, and meaning that the systems that's set up is usually used to outsourcing from areas that are bigger than who we are, or where professions or other programs that are outside of this. And then so my fear was, am I going to survive in that type of world? Because we're used to, again, as systems, to find organizations that are in other areas to come in and to provide the work. And so my thing was not so much the competition, is that are they going to take me real as what I'm doing, the work that I'm doing? Are they going to take me as this is authentic? And the experiences that I've had, even though it started small at Lee Grand, it's a small school district, but we were able to decrease and drop suspension and expulsion 90% the third year in implementation. So I knew that this program could be successful. So I always kept the saying, don't despise the day of small things. And so it's just continue to tell my story and tell the story of and the testimonies of students that have gone through this program. And one of the things that I think kept it relevant was the students' voices that have gone through, the alumni that helped support this drive of really what the league and the movement is about. And so my fears was just being accepted in these educational systems and circles that is usually, again, used to bringing in bigger organizations without overlooking the homegrown people within, and that are actually doing the work, that have boots on the ground and that are being successful. Sometimes it's hard to look at these smaller organizations and saying, well, how can this be successful because they're small? Well, they're very effective. Be surprised how effective they are, because they have the ear of the community, and they have the passion of the community because they live in the community. And so that's why it's so important for me to have the Superman emblem, the J, and our actual mantra of that is be a hero, because you can be a hero anywhere. You don't have to come from another state or another city to be a hero in the location that you are. I've always wanted to do this work back in Portland, Oregon, but I couldn't go back because the Portland that I knew is not there anymore because of gentrification. And so I knew that where I was, the city that I lived in, I had to take it as this is my city, and take ownership. And because of that ownership, I felt that, you know what, the work that I wanted to do there, you know what, I can do it here. I can be the hero right here, and I can help students, help youth here. And so that's what made me kind of really know that I can overcome the obstacles that I've been up against. What I love the most about the work I do is actually working with students, number one. They're the life of this organization, and to be honest with you, they're the life of me. I worked in a position where I was not connected directly to students at one point in time in my my life here in Merced, and people that I knew actually called me out on it and said, what happened to you? You're not the joyful, person that I used to know when you worked directly with the youth. What happened? And I really took a toll on me. I really had to think about that. And I say, you know what? I need to do what I do best, is work with youth directly. And so that's a joy to me. But then also working with adults, working with administration, working with teachers, working with the community, and seeing them transform because of the stories that they hear, because of the dialogue in the circles that we have, and see them have their aha moment and say, wow, I never saw it this way, or I never was able to share my story, and how good it felt to be able to feel comfortable having a conversation and not be judged or not be pushed away for what I said. And so that has also been the joy to work with adults to get through their processes. What I like to destroy as far as a myth or a thought of a preconceived thought of restorative justice, what I would like to take out the equation is that restorative justice is just a slap on the wrist. It's not a slap on the wrist. If a student gets in trouble and they don't realize what they've done, and they go directly to a punitive process, and people don't really see who they are, their background, the behind the scenes that has triggered a young person to react. If they don't have a voice to be able to share their story or be able to have an opportunity to restore, then they'll never change. And so what restorative justice is an opportunity for that student to see the harm that's done to whoever they did it with, the victim, and then everybody else that's involved who is connected and have been affected by what has happened. And when you get all those voices in there, in that circle, then that student now can critically understand and think what they did, it does pay a price. What they did hurt someone. But here's an opportunity to heal and an opportunity for your life to be saved from going down that road. I think that is more worth than just hooking him and booking him and sending that student away and say, well, this is going to teach them a lesson. Well, how can you teach them a lesson if you never get into a position of teaching? If you don't ever teach, they'll never know the lesson. That is what I would like to destroy or get rid of. And so people can see that this is an opportunity to really bring a community together. When we say it takes a community to raise a child, guess what? Everyone is a part of that community. And so it does take the teacher, it does take the student, it does take the parent, it does take the community leader, it does take the police officer. It takes everyone to be involved in that child, in really teaching that child that true lesson, and giving that child an opportunity to change. It takes everyone. And so that's what I want people to know about restorative justice. It's not this side or that side. It's not about politics. It's about peace. It's about compassion. It's about healing. It's about forgiveness. It's about lifting up and not destroying or putting down. It's about inclusion. It's about building relationship. It's about being together. It's about making sure that that student has an opportunity now and a place to stand on and a voice to be heard and support to gather around so that student can truly be successful. So that's what I really want. How do I feel when that title is given to me being a hero? I really feel humbled. I feel truly humbled when you grow up in in life, and you're overlooked in a lot of, you're overlooked because of the color of your skin and because your economical situation, you're in the neighborhood that you live in. It is, it's hard to accept someone saying that you're a hero, because sometimes the insecurities in the things that we have within us, and because of it's been pushed down so much, it's hard to look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I truly a hero? Because it's not how I feel. But I know for me personally, this is also part of my healing process as a person and my growth. I just see me doing what those people that saw me when I was going down that road do for me. And all I can do is do the same. All I can do is do the same. I think being a servant leader is to be a servant first. Is to be a servant first, and that's all I'm doing, is to serve. And however, what people think of me, I really stopped caring about that, because I know that there's someone like me that was out there. There's someone like friends that I know that didn't make it that are out there. There's people that are hurting, people that are suffering. And all I want to do is be there. Be there. If it be an organization, and that's what this is now, then let that be. You know, if it just be me having a conversation with, my own son, then that's more than enough.
Yosemite High School staff, what a great team. They were nominated by Carlo Morin and received the Award of Education. We learned so much from interviewing the staff of Yosemite High School. These heroes shared who their students really are. Students that are smart, outgoing, kind, who come from all walks of life, and due to extenuating circumstances, fall behind during their academic journey. Listen for yourself.
My name is Carlo Morin, and I am an attendance secretary for Yosemite High School, and I nominated the staff of Yosemite High School for the 2020 Hands-On Heroes Award. The reason I nominated Yosemite High is because each and every day I see those staff members go above and beyond, from the administration to the classified staff. Doesn't matter who you are there. They all are there for one purpose, and that's the belief in the students that they can succeed at anything as far as graduation and college and beyond. They don't have to be there, but they choose to be there. Many have been there a long time, many years, and I think they've gone unrecognized for too long for what they do. I mean, the teachers work countless hours after, making sure the students have all their credits that they need. This classified staff works extra hours to go above and beyond to either, support them in academically, emotionally, or even if needs at the home that they may need. So at that site, it doesn't matter if you're a cafeteria worker or administrator, we're all there for a common belief, common purpose, and that's for the students and the belief that they can too be a success in society in the future with graduation and anything else. Yosemite High School lives true to their motto, where students come first and second chances come true. And I see that every year when we go through the graduation ceremonies. Many of these kids didn't think they would make it, but at the end, with all of us together, it was a collaborative effort, and they pulled through. And that's why I believe Yosemite High School is a hands-on hero for Merced County.
My name is Brooke Luker. I'm the Associate Principal for Yosemite High School.
My name is Kari Boykin. I'm a high school teacher. I teach career technical education at Yosemite High School for the Merced Union High School District.
My name is Jeff Rivero. I'm a U.S. history teacher at Yosemite High School. Been there for 26 years.
My name is Karen Lopes, and I work at Yosemite High School. I have a very unique position there. This past several years was a teacher on special assignment.
My name's Grace Ojeda, and I am the supervisor at the Child Development Center at Yosemite High School. We work with teen parents and CTE students throughout the year.
Well, the one myth I would change is our students are just behind in credits. They are not the bad kids. They are not less intelligent in any way. Just factors out of their control that have led to, them being behind in credits.
Most of them come in pretty beat down, not very many success stories. So being able to find successes in their life with them, to try to let them know that their passion is the route or the path they're supposed to take, and opening up their heart. Once you see a student open up, find their passion, you have to get out of their way. You don't have to keep pushing.
What I love most about my job is working with the teen moms and seeing them succeed, seeing them graduate, get up on that stage, and seeing how proud they are to be able to show their children that they were able to accomplish that. A lot of them don't have that support at home, so seeing them up there being so proud and showing their children that it can be done even though they have obstacles is a great feeling.
I mean, the students are phenomenal. To be around young people is so energizing. They are curious, they are random, and any chance you get to kind of influence them in a positive way, maybe guide them or give them some more insight to think about and see their wheels turning, see their brains moving, it's motivating. It really is.
A myth that I would destroy regarding Yosemite High School and our teen parents is that these kids are not bad kids. They are struggling. They have a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that people don't know about. And that doesn't mean that they don't deserve a chance to accomplish and graduate and do good, and we're there to support them.
So when they come to our school and there's just some accommodations for that, they flourish and they do so well, and there's smaller class sizes, they get more one-on-one attention, and there's so many of them that they're so smart and they never realized it because in the traditional setting they weren't successful. And when they come to our school, they realize, I am a good student. I can be a leader. I can be involved. And
because a lot of students at Yosemite High School come in credit deficient. A lot of them, it's because they have emotional and psychological issues coming in. So if you can decode what the problem is, the hope is that someday they will become president of the United States or mayor of your town or whatever they're made for.
For me personally, I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about giving back to this community as much as possible. The main thing I have is my own life experience. And so if I can teach students through my own life experience, then that's a benefit for me.
Well, to be called a hero is, it's difficult to think of it in those terms. I think most of us choose our careers based on just something that we are passionate about, usually a subject area. So for myself, it was English. I didn't know all the other facets that really come with being an educator. So hero, it's hard to process. I think we just go and do our job every day, and the experiences that we get from it help us.
To know, when you have that one, email, or you run into a kid at the store or the grocery store, and they give you those kudos, you just you live on that for 2 weeks. You're floating on cloud 9. And we always share that with each other.
It's very humbling to know that people see us in that form. I'm just doing my everyday job, and I love knowing I go home and I know that I've done an impact on a person's life is really powerful. And I like having that knowledge that we have done good for these students.
So when you see them succeed, you know you're doing a good job. It's just like in the military. There's no general, even though he has stars, that could have succeeded without the boots on the ground, winning the small victories for him. So one of the greatest things that being at Yosemite High School is watching all the success that the students have had.
Hearing people call you a hero, that's humbling. You know, it really is. There are many of my colleagues, many of, people that have influenced me throughout my life that have really sacrificed to influence me positively. And my hope is just to fill their shoes, to keep that positive influence going for other children, other students who may need that. Because then in turn, when they finally have some success in their life, they'll be able to give back and to help influence others, and it just repeats itself, and it's worth it. It's worth every bit of it.
Our next winner is Loretta Spence, and she was nominated by Tony Borges and received the Denard Davis Memorial Award. Mr. Davis was a lifetime community servant and best known as an advocate, educator, mentor, and civil rights leader in Merced County.
Hi, I'm Tony Borges, and I'm a member of the community, and I nominated Loretta Spence for this Hands-On Hero because she's an amazing woman who is relentless in her ability to keep going and doing everything for children. I met her about 20 years ago, and at that time I was working in my area, and she volunteered and did all sorts of different things for children. Every time I needed somebody to bring kids out or any of her people, she'd bring them out, and we'd do all sorts of different type of Easter events for the kids and Halloween events for the children, health fairs, out to vote. Loretta was always there. She's 30 years. She did foster care and has just always advocated for children. She's on many boards doing that on a regular basis. She's been a CASA member that has helped with children, advocating for them as well. She did a BHC and was a community advocate with Building Healthy Communities for Beechwood, Franklin area where I'm from, and has just the one thing I especially think is amazing about her is that she, no matter whether she has money or she doesn't have money, she just keeps going forward. And I just always wonder, how does she do this? She doesn't even know where she's going to get the funding, and she just continues to do it. And she's been doing this ever since I know her. So she's just an incredible individual with an incredible heart, and just seems tireless in her ability to just keep doing it. She goes to, any type of school meetings to make she's advocating for the children. Like I said, the awards she's on are countless. But if anything, in the end, her heart is big. And that's why I think of her, when I thought of her, nominating her, is that she just seems like she's just such a tireless individual when it comes to giving love to children in any possible way that she can. And I just wanted to make sure that that didn't go unrecognized, and that somehow that we were able to really shed some light on her wonderful work that she's done for the community.
My name is Loretta Spence. I currently is the president and CEO of Love, Faith, and Hope, Inc., which is a nonprofit organization in the community. Before I got into working with Love, Faith, Hope, I was working for the Merced County Department of Workforce and Investment for over 15 years. And so I retired from my job in 2009 to work in my community. What made me retire from my job was that I would go into different agencies, and while I'm there getting services that I need, I could see people come in and they would walk out without getting any help at all. And so I wanted to just quit my job. My family was kind of, upset with me, wondering why are you quitting this job? And I said, because I want to work in my community, because before I get too old and on the stick and crutches, I want to be able to move around. So I want to help close the gap in services. And so that's why I quit my job. My biggest fear was the financial obligations. Was I going to be able to meet my financial obligations? But, I had to do what was on my mind, and and God made a way for me. I just love helping people. I've always helped people, no matter even in my job situation. I would go over and beyond to help. If I hear something or somebody having a problem or if something's going on in their household and they need help with, I go over and beyond to help. And I just like helping and seeing the results and seeing the people happy that someone actually helped. People may not know what Love, Faith, Hope is, Inc. is, but they know that we're working, but they probably do not know the amount of work that we do. We do a lot of work that's really intense, working with the homeless. When the homeless walk through the doors and they need help, I would ask them, have you been to New Direction? Have you been to the human service agencies? I would name the agencies that help the homeless. And they say, we already been there. We fill out applications. And then I would say, you have to keep going back. So at that point, if they fill out an application, then I would make a call to those people to see what is the status of their application and help that client and walk them through it to get them the services. And then it helps right away. You know, I had a homeless guy that has been out there for years. He didn't even know where his family didn't even know where he was. I was able to find his kids. They hadn't seen him, and they all came, and the grandkids, and they came down here, and I did call one of the services, New Direction and Healthy House, and they was able to help me to place him in a place. When I got the phone call from the committee saying that I was nominated for a hero, I was like, for what? And then they said a hero. Then I said, are you sure? And they go, is this Loretta? And I said, yes, it is. And they said, you've been nominated for a hero. And I was just excited and I was shocked. And they said, apparently somebody sees what you're doing. And I was really, really happy because I didn't think anyone could see the work that I was doing in the community. So you never know. So I was very happy about it. I also want the community to know that Building Healthy Communities, which they call it BHC, and the California Endowment has been very, very helpful with me. It was an initiative when I retired. I retired just right on time because as I was retiring, Building Healthy Communities was coming into Merced for a 10-year initiative. And I was nominated for the area representative for the Beechwood Franklin area at that time, and that's where I was residing. So we worked a lot with the youth and the children and the families, and so I just like to, give thanks to them.
And our next winner is Marcos Tomay. He was nominated by Bianca Barnes, Paige Lee, Piper Lee, Ursula Pereira, Hank Pereira, Jake Pereira, Ava Pereira, Amy Bauer Tomay, Crystal Pimentel, Camila Tomay, and Vincent Tomay. These are students and parents of students who attend MMA and his own children. He received the Business Award.
Hi, my name is Amy Tomay, and I am the wife of Marcos Tomay. I wrote a letter nominating my husband to be a hero. And I believe that he is a hero in our community because he not only teaches the children in our community as he's done for the last 13 years, but he's also been a role model and a father figure to a lot of these kids, from attending parent-teacher conferences to sporting events of the kids in his class and encouraging them in their day-to-day activities, asking about their grades and asking to see their homework and making sure they're making their bed and treating their family with respect. And I believe that we need more people like him in the community, and that's why I nominated my husband as a hero.
My name's Piper Lee, and I go to Jiu-Jitsu MMA. My name is Paige Lee, and I go to Jiu-Jitsu MMA. The reason that we go to Jiu-Jitsu MMA because me and my sister get bullied. The reason me and my sister go to MMA is because our mom wants us to, so we don't get bullied in school. At Jiu-Jitsu MMA, I've learned to protect myself. At Jiu-Jitsu MMA, I've learned to let nobody touch my neck. Marco deserves the award because he's a good teacher. Marcos deserves this award because he cares about us.
Hi, my name is Vinicius Tomay, son of Marcos. Recently, I wrote a letter to nominate my father as a hero. The reason why is because he's the closest thing you can get to a comic book superhero. He's a really great hero to me. He helps me out with whatever I do. He's the nicest guy you'll ever meet. He'll go out of his way to help you with anything. He helps everyone in the community. He just encourages me to give back. And that's why I think my father is a hero.
Hi, my name is Camila Tomay, and I am the daughter of Marcos Tomay. I wrote a letter saying my dad is a hero because he helps us build self-confidence in ourselves. He helps us defend ourselves from bad people, and he also helps us be good people. And he always says just to defend others and ourselves. He always wants us to, and we do. That's why I nominated him as a hero.
Who is Marcos Tomay? Well, Marcos Tomay is a family guy with Christian values. I believe that when you put God first, you can achieve anything in life, you know, and this is part of the way I was raised. That's how I was raised in martial arts and how I was raised at home. I remember my first day in the academy, you know, when I first walked in the judo academy, the first day I came to the jiu-jitsu academy, it can be very intimidating. It can be quite stressful. Here in the academy, we try to produce an environment, a friendly environment, as a family environment. My kids will grow in the academy. They grow up in the academy. You know, everybody over here is very friendly. Everybody's helping each other. You know, and in the beginning, it's the fear that everybody have might be. It's like I'm going to get beat up, but it's not. Quite the contrary. You know, everybody's going to try to build you up, so in the future you become a good training partner. Growing up, I was bullied quite a bit. My father was home but not present, if that makes any sense. My father was very distant. So I was in need of a father figure and something who would give me confidence, you know, and give me guidance. So then I found judo. I started training judo, and I did quite well. Then at the age of 14, when I was 17 years old, I had a scholarship lined up for me in Brazil, but an injury stopped me from going through with the scholarship. Tried to come back to judo a couple times, but I just couldn't do it. Right. The closest thing to it was jiu-jitsu, and at the time I didn't have many academies around that had the same respect, the same familyhood experience in academies. And then I finally find my first judo teacher, Levi Borges, who provided me with kind of the same environment. Started training jiu-jitsu then, 1999, and I ended up coming to US in 2006 to fight a tournament over here, and 2007 we opened Merced MMA. What made me want to start a business was I recognized that the county, the city was in need of a place to give the others what I had when I first started jiu-jitsu. I thought that I could contribute with that. What I learned from the doubts that I have and from the fear that I may had momentarily was resilience. Keep pushing forward even when things get difficult, you know. And at the time, I remember that quickly we established some friendships with our students, you know, and 95% of my friends or people that I met in the academy or their parents or students or former students. No way I could turn my back on them. You know, I couldn't close the academy. I had some opportunities to move on and go somewhere else, and at the time make more money, and I chose to stay because I had ties with the community. You know, and yeah, just persevere and go through it. You know, face the problems head on. And 14 years later, here we are. What I love most about what I do, two things. Number one is jiu-jitsu. I mean, I would pay to be here, and I make a living doing so. You know, so I'm pretty blessed. And just to see the transformation, whether if it's a young child or as 4 years old, or even the young adults, You know, a lot of people walking over here sometimes with not much self-confidence, you know what I mean? And quite frankly, sometimes they walk in, they don't know how to tie their own belt. And 6 months later, a year later, is a completely different individual, you know what I mean? You can see their character changing, their posture changing, and it's pretty amazing. That's more rewarding than anything else. I'm happy doing what I'm doing, again, because I can see the changes on the kids. I can see the changes on the young adults. What makes me happy is the fact that my family and my wife support me 100%, even through 2007 when things were iffy, you know, and they're always behind me, always supporting me. Make me happy the fact that my kids are growing in the academy and we have such a great environment over here. Yeah, and be able to pay forward, you know, and do for others what somebody did to me back then when I was 14, 15 years old. I don't think I'm a hero. I think I'm you know, I just paying forward. I'm just doing what somebody else did to me back in the days, you know, like that, you know, giving guidance and set a good example. I don't think that's being a hero. I think that's just being what I was called to be, a good person, you know. The advice I would give to the youth is the same thing I tell my children. You know, you're a product of environment. Surround yourself with good people, you know, put God first, and do the right things. We have a lot of stress around the world, a lot of he said, she said, you know. I think that's important to stay close to your family and listen to their values. You know, if they don't have values, you know, the world will give you values to follow.
And last but not least, Rosa Diaz-Smith was nominated by Melanie Cole and received the Volunteer Award. The Volunteer Award is given to individuals that give their time in order to better the lives of others.
My name is Rosa Smith. I am from Merced, California. I am involved with MOPS, which stands for Mothers of Preschoolers. It's a non-denominational group. We have a lot of mothers. This was established way back when we had the base, so you had a lot of new moms coming here. And if you're a brand new mom, you don't know what to do with your child. You think that there's something wrong with you. And so this brings new moms, older moms, you know, we have grandmas that have custody of their kids that need love and support and activities to do together. So, you know, we have field trips, we have fundraisers, you know, we just have a lot of different things that we can, you know, support groups. Some girls want to breastfeed and are not able to breastfeed. And so when you talk to somebody that has had the same issues, it just, you know, brings you together. Before the Mothers of Preschoolers, I worked at the hospital. And so I was in the education department, and anytime any other department needed help, I just love to help. So our big community health fair that they would put on in May, you know, even though it wasn't my department, I always took my vacation time or whatever it was to help with part of that, and helping Lillian Sanchez and Lindsay Wine put all of that together. And so from there, I just kind of went back to my roots of MOPS. MOPS was something that I did when I was a young mom because my kids were 10 years apart. So it was like starting over. And so now that my son is older, I went back 5 years ago and I became a mentor mom. A year later, I was a lead mentor mom with Nikki Gallagher. And so we are there to guide the new leadership team and to bridge those gaps of, you know, well, I'm too old for this, or, you know, I'm too young for this. There is something for all ages of mothers. And the mentor moms are, you know, we can tell you, you know, we're not all perfect. We all come either from broken homes, divorced, but the main goal is to show you to love your children, bring them up right, you know, honoring God, and just, you know, family always comes first. God, family. So it was clear as day. I had gone with my neighbor. I was due to have surgery in just a few days, so I said, I will go with you just to see what it's about, because I had been a member, but not a leader. So I went with her as an extra just to kind of sit in the sidelines. And lo and behold, God has bigger plans. When I was sitting there, we wind up getting a whole new table. So we have tables set up of 8. God brought in another table of ladies from Mary's Mantle, which is J&J Maternity Ward, who were coming in for the first time, and they had nobody to lead them. So it came from, hey, Rosa, we need you as a leader. So I sat there and I made amazing bonds with these ladies and amazing bonds with this wonderful organization, which we are called to help. And these are women that are recovering alcoholics, drug addicts, or are just escaping a very violent relationship. And they need help. They don't have anybody in their lives, and they're trying to raise children without a job, without, So MOPS was a requirement for them to be a part of their program. So, what do you do when you can't just say, no, I just came to look, and it was the best thing that I ever did. I was leaving a paying job, a full-time job with benefits and insurance and everything else but when you love what you do, and the leadership team this is your new family. You're with these women, every week for a good 3 to 4 hours, plus the hours that it takes to, plan these events. We put on a huge event every year in February, March, and it's called Heart of the Table. And it's basically teaching women and family. It's a women's conference, but the idea is to show families that we need to get back to having meals at the table. Your big conversations that you have are at a table. Anytime you ask your kid, come talk to me, we're going to sit on the couch. It's not as, so just back to the table. And so this conference has been going on for years, and we've sold out every year. It's an amazing thing because it's non-dominational. So we have women that have come from Las Banas, Madera, Chowchilla, and we are constantly sold out to where women want to come and at least just help, just so that they can be a part of it and listen to the word that is being taught that night. And we have the men that come and help. So because there's a lot of men groups, the men will come and cook the meals and help serve, and it's just very fulfilling. What I love the most about this is the relationships that I build. When you are in a hard spot, when you are on the verge of breaking sometimes, or when you are happy, the very first women that you want to call are your MOPS sisters. I have mentors, my mentor moms, that are not afraid, and you have to have that relationship of being able to be vulnerable with them and also accepting them when they're telling you things that you don't want to hear. But we all need that, right? You don't want a yes ma'am or yes, it's okay, you can do that. No, you want somebody that's going to keep you honest and focused on our goal, which is bringing women to Christ and bringing these young moms to where, no, your family always comes first. Always, always, always. Respect your husband. Build your kids up. And in this time right now, during the COVID, is very hard. And these beautiful women are meeting, and they're doing all the social distancing. So last month was the first month where they're outside and they're still distancing, but it's a yearning because you've built those bonds that it's very hard to walk away from. MOPS is not just for mothers of preschoolers. There is so much more. The goal is to give those new moms that are brand new, that have, a newborn and a toddler or 2 toddlers. It's a place for them to come. Us mentor moms love to hold the new babies and sit there, and the moms get that hour and a half of free time for them to listen to the word, to just laugh, to do a project, to just, to be themselves around other women. Because if you're staying at home, especially right now in this time and age, You're sitting at home, you're alone. Your husband comes home from work, the last thing he wants to hear is about little Billy spilling Kool-Aid or, so you get that outlet. And so it's building confidence, it's building relationships. It's just, it's undescribable, And I like to make people feel special. It's amazing. Our beautiful friend, Clayton Ogden, 3 years ago, he passed away of cancer. He was a fireman. And we were able to organize a parade for him while he was still alive from the hospital to Merced, which involved all organizations, Modesto, Ceres. I mean, it was just a number. It was all over the news. And I want to be him when I grow up. When he got the news that he had cancer, he said, really? He was never doubtful in his faith till the day that he died. He was giving and doing for others even when he couldn't. So that's what I want to be. I want to continue to give and love others, especially in these dark, dark days here. I don't feel like I'm a hero. I just feel like I love to make people feel good, and that's my passion. If I have something and I know that somebody else needs it, I won't think twice about giving it to them or going above and beyond to make somebody else feel special, because the giver is more blessed than the receiver.
Well wishes for all the winners and nominees. Thanks to all that participated in the process, and be on the lookout for the next opportunity to nominate your hero. Yes, hands-on heroes in your community.
Yes, be on the lookout. I know we have heroes in all areas of Merced County.
Have a great evening, stay safe, wear a mask, and remember, empower our children.